Kenyatte didn't play the first quarter. He was sat because of disciplinary issues. So I respect that.
Seagull set him?
Seagull sat him. And I respect that so much because we need to get back to that accountability. I feel like in this society that we in, it's a soft generation. And even the parents and even the leaders have become a little bit soft, where kids are allowed to act and say and do whatever they want to do with no consequences, in fear of being too hard on them, and all these different things that have been created in this new age. You know what we're used to? We're used to tough coaching. We're used to tough parenting, and it builds character. It builds a certain type of man or a certain type of woman, and I feel like we've kind of strayed away from those type of principles. So I love Kenwood and Seagull saying, I don't care that you the best player on the field. If you did something wrong, you're going to be held accountable, and whatever happens, because that's life. You know, we can't baby and coddle you and let you do whatever you want to do, and just because we want to win a football game. That's not how it goes. So I respect Kenwood and Seagull and the whole staff for making that decision, knowing it could possibly cost them. That could have been costly. But to still, he don't play the first quarter, get in the game, and still go 11 for 19, 233 yards, 2 touchdowns. He did throw a pick, but hey, it is what it is. You know what I mean? They still pulled out the victory. So I think that's just the highlight of this whole game, is Kenyatte being sad and him coming back in and picking right up. Like, you know, I sat a quarter, boom, we back in it. So
what did we just talk about last week? The end goal is not to really win a state championship. It's to mold young men and women. And doing something like that, like you said, coach didn't care about. And that's in a game, in a CPL matchup like that against Simeon, you sitting your best player. It's like, it's bigger than the game. To me, that tells me that the coach is like, bro, this is bigger than the game. You messed up. You gotta, not necessarily say suffer the consequences, but you gotta learn from your mistakes. You know what I mean? And I don't care if you're the best player on the team. And then when you set him and came back in, he's still ball. So, shout out to coach for sitting him. And that's all it was really about. Let's get away from the game and get away from the stats a little bit. Molding young men and women. That's what sports is all about. Let's stop losing sight and thinking that it's only about winning. Obviously, winning is a product of doing the right things, right? You said it yourself last week. Winning is a product of doing the right things. But at the end of the day, what we're trying to do is mold kids into being the best they can be with their personality, whether it's in school, whatever the case may be. This sport, football, baseball, basketball, a coach's job is to mold young men and women to be the best they can be when they're off the court or off the field.